Hello. Thank you for finding time for yourself again and stopping by. Let's search together today for where our strength might be hiding. Do you ever catch yourself sighing, maybe rubbing your lower back, or feeling a wave of tiredness wash over you in the afternoon, and just think, well, that's just part of getting older, isn't it? We work hard all our lives, raise families, navigate countless challenges. It seems only natural that the body starts to, well, complain a bit more. But what if those everyday aches, that persistent fatigue, or those senior moments aren't just inevitable signs of the years passing? What if they are actually gentle but important, signals from your body, like little yellow warning lights on a car's dashboard telling you something needs attention? Often, the culprits behind these feelings are hiding in plain sight, disguised as harmless habits or everyday foods. Things like hidden sugars in sauces or seemingly innocent white bread can act like tiny saboteurs in our system, quietly draining our energy reserves and fanning the flames of inflammation, almost like a slow leak in a tire you don't notice until it suddenly feels flat and difficult to steer. But here's the hopeful truth. Reclaiming vibrant energy, sharper thinking, and more comfortable movement is often much simpler than you might imagine. I promise you, the advice we'll talk through today involves gentle shifts, not drastic overhauls, no grueling workouts, or expensive exotic ingredients required. These are small, kind steps you can easily weave into your daily life. So please, stay with me for a little while, and let's uncover these simple secrets to feeling better together. You truly deserve to feel good, full of life and energy, at every age. 1. The constant cloud of fatigue. So, let's start with that feeling of being tired. Not just sleepy after a poor night, but that deep, bone-weary fatigue that seems to settle in by mid-afternoon, making even simple tasks feel like climbing a mountain. You might think, of course, I'm tired, I'm over 60, or 70, or 80. It's easy to accept this as the new normal, but often, this persistent energy drain has a very specific trigger, the roller coaster ride of blood sugar caused by refined carbohydrates and sugary snacks. Think about that biscuit with your tea, the white toast for breakfast, or that sweet yogurt. They give you a quick burst, like a firework, bright for a moment, then gone, leaving you feeling even lower than before. The simple swap? Replace those quick-burning fuels with steady, slow-release energy sources. Instead of reaching for sugary snacks or white bread, try incorporating more whole grains, fruits with their natural fiber, nuts, and seeds. I remember talking to Arthur, a sprightly 72-year-old who loved his garden, but found himself needing more and more naps. His little treat, as he called it, was a couple of digestive biscuits with his mid-morning tea and again in the afternoon. He told me, "Oh, that's just nonsense, dear. A biscuit never hurt anyone. It's my age making me tired." He was quite resistant initially, feeling like he was being asked to give up one of his simple pleasures. He associated those biscuits with comfort, a lifetime habit. But his daughter gently encouraged him to just try swapping them for a small apple and a handful of almonds for 1 week. He grumbled, but he did it. The first few days, he missed the familiar sweetness. But by the end of the week, something surprising happened. Arthur noticed he wasn't getting that heavy, sleepy feeling around 11 a.m. or 4 p.m. anymore. He had enough energy to finish weeding his beloved rose bushes without feeling wiped out. Why? Because the apple provided natural sweetness paired with fiber, and the almonds offered protein and healthy fats. This combination is like switching from throwing small twigs on a fire, quick flare then ashes, to placing a solid log, steady, consistent warmth. His blood sugar stayed stable, like a gently flowing river instead of a crashing wave. He wasn't just less tired, he felt more present, more capable. The practical benefit for you? Sustained energy throughout the day, meaning more stamina for hobbies, playing with grandchildren, or simply enjoying an evening without feeling drained. It's not about deprivation, it's about choosing fuel that serves you better. Maybe your daily energy boost just needs a simple, natural swap from a quick flash to a steady glow. 2. Those nagging aches and pains. Now, what about those aches? The stiff knees when you stand up, the sore back that greets you in the morning, the general feeling that your joints are just creakier. Again, the common thought is, it's just arthritis or wear and tear, comes with the territory. And while some wear and tear is normal, persistent, widespread aches can often be fueled by chronic, low-grade inflammation throughout the body. And guess what often feeds that inflammation? Highly processed foods, fried items, and excessive unhealthy fats. These foods can act like irritants inside your body, constantly poking at sensitive areas, keeping things subtly inflamed, like a constant, low-grade smolder inside your joints that makes everything feel sore. So, the gentle shift here is gradually reduce processed meats, packaged snacks, fried foods, and excessive vegetable oils, like corn or soybean oil, and replace them with anti-inflammatory foods like oily fish, berries, leafy greens, nuts, and olive oil. Let me tell you about Eleanor, 68. She relied quite a bit on ready meals and enjoyed her fish and chips on Fridays. Her knees were her main complaint, always aching, making stairs a trial. She'd sigh and say, "Oh, it's just my old knees giving me jip. Nothing to be done." She was hesitant to change her diet. Those familiar foods felt easy and comforting. Plus, she worried that trying to eat healthy would be complicated and tasteless. She also believed that any exercise would just make her knees worse. Slowly, she started making small changes. Instead of a processed ham sandwich for lunch, she'd have a small tin of salmon with some salad leaves. She swapped her usual biscuits for a handful of blueberries or walnuts. She started using olive oil for cooking instead of generic vegetable oil. She also agreed to try very short, gentle walks, just 10 minutes around the block each day. At first, she didn't notice much, but after a few weeks, she realized she wasn't wincing quite as much when she stood up. The constant background ache had quieted down. The walks, instead of hurting, actually seemed to make her feel a little looser. Physiologically, what was happening? She was reducing the pro-inflammatory signals from the processed foods and increasing the anti-inflammatory compounds from the fish, omega-3s, and berries, antioxidants. It was like gently putting cool water on that internal smolder. And the gentle movement? That was like carefully oiling a rusty hinge, helping to lubricate the joints without stressing them. The benefit for you? Less daily discomfort, potentially more flexibility and ease of movement. Imagine being able to garden, play with pets, or simply get out of a chair with less pain. It's about calming your body from the inside out. Could feeding your body these soothing foods and moving gently be the comforting balm your joints have been waiting for? 3. When your digestion feels off. Let's talk about something a bit more private, but very common: digestive troubles. That feeling of bloating after meals, uncomfortable constipation, or just a general sense that things aren't moving as smoothly as they used to. It's easy to wave it away, thinking, my digestion has always been a bit sensitive, or things just slow down as you get older. While some changes can occur, constant discomfort isn't something you just have to live with. Very often, the culprits are a lack of fiber and insufficient hydration. Modern diets, heavy on refined grains, like white bread, pasta, white rice, and low on fresh produce, can leave our digestive system without the bulk it needs to work efficiently. Think of it like trying to sweep a floor with just a few bristles. Not very effective. The simple, powerful change? Increase your intake of fiber-rich foods. Think whole grains, oats, brown rice, wholemeal bread, beans, lentils, fruits, and vegetables. And make sure you're drinking enough plain water throughout the day. I knew a gentleman named George, 75, a lovely man who was quietly bothered by irregularity and feeling uncomfortably full often. His diet consisted mainly of white toast for breakfast, sandwiches on white bread for lunch, and meat with potatoes or white rice for dinner. He rarely ate fruit and wasn't a big fan of vegetables beyond peas or carrots. He felt embarrassed about his digestive issues and just assumed it was an irreversible part of aging. Always been this way, more or less, he'd mumble. His wife gently started making small adjustments. She switched to wholemeal bread for his toast and sandwiches. She began adding a small handful of lentils or beans to their soups and stews. She put a fruit bowl on the counter and encouraged him to have an apple or banana as a snack. And she kept a jug of water handy, reminding him to sip throughout the day. George was skeptical. He missed his soft white bread. But within a couple of weeks, he noticed a significant difference. Things became much more regular, the bloating eased, and he simply felt lighter and more comfortable after eating. Why? The added fiber acted like a gentle internal broom, helping waste move through more efficiently. It also feeds the good bacteria in our gut, which are crucial for healthy digestion. Think of fiber as the preferred food for the helpful gardeners in your internal ecosystem. And the water? It helps soften everything and keeps the traffic on your internal highway flowing smoothly. The clear benefit? Greater daily comfort, less worry and embarrassment about digestive issues, and a feeling of lightness. Taking care of your gut health is fundamental to overall well-being. Perhaps your digestive comfort is just waiting patiently for a little more natural roughage and water to get things moving happily again. 4. The elusive good night's sleep. Sleep. Or perhaps the lack of it. Tossing and turning, waking up frequently, feeling like you haven't really rested even after hours in bed. Insomnia is just normal for older people, is a phrase I hear so often. We might blame worries or just accept it as fate. But often, our evening habits play a huge role in disrupting our natural sleep cycles. 2 common culprits: eating a large, heavy meal too close to bedtime and exposing ourselves to the stimulating blue light from screens, TVs, tablets, phones, right before trying to sleep. A heavy meal forces your digestive system to work hard when your body wants to be winding down. It's like asking your body to run a marathon just as it's trying to go to bed. And that screen light? It's like shouting, "Wake up, stay alert," to your brain, suppressing the production of melatonin, the very hormone that signals it's time for sleep. The straightforward adjustment? Try having your main meal earlier in the evening, keeping dinner lighter, and creating a screen-free wind-down hour before bed. Consider Margaret, 70. She enjoyed a substantial dinner around 8 p.m., often followed by watching her favorite shows on her tablet, in bed, until she felt sleepy. But sleep was often elusive. She'd lie awake, mind racing, or wake up repeatedly. She felt perpetually groggy in the mornings and blamed it entirely on her age. "Just don't sleep like I used to," she'd say with resignation. She loved her evening routine. It felt relaxing to her. Her son suggested an experiment. For 1 week, she tried eating her main meal at lunch or no later than 6:30 p.m., having just a light soup or salad for dinner. And crucially, an hour before her intended bedtime, she put the tablet away, dimmed the lights, and picked up a physical book instead. She also tried a warm, caffeine-free herbal tea. The first night felt strange, breaking her habit. But by the third night, she noticed she was drifting off much more easily. She woke up fewer times during the night. By the end of the week, she woke up feeling noticeably more refreshed than she had in years. Physiologically, the lighter, earlier dinner allowed her body to focus on rest, not digestion. Swapping the stimulating blue light for the soft light of a lamp and the calming activity of reading acted like a gentle lullaby for her brain, allowing melatonin to work its magic. The practical advantage for you? Waking up feeling truly rested, having more energy and patience during the day, and a clearer mind. A good night's sleep is foundational for everything else. Could a calmer, screen-free evening routine be the simple key to unlocking the restorative sleep you deserve? 5. Those senior moments and brain fog. Let's talk about those moments that can feel a bit unsettling. Forgetting a name that's right on the tip of your tongue, walking into a room and wondering why you went there, or just feeling a general sense of mental fogginess. It's incredibly common to dismiss these as inevitable senior moments. "Oh, my memory's not what it used to be." We might laugh it off, but sometimes there's a flicker of worry underneath. While cognitive changes can occur with age, persistent brain fog and frequent memory lapses aren't necessarily just how it is. Often, simple factors like chronic dehydration, a lack of specific brain-supporting nutrients, or even just a lack of mental stimulation can contribute significantly. Your brain is about 75% water. Even mild dehydration can impair focus and memory, like trying to use a dry sponge. It's just not as absorbent or flexible, and certain foods provide the essential building blocks and protection your brain needs. The easily accessible solution? Focus on staying consistently hydrated throughout the day, incorporate brain-boosting foods like blueberries, walnuts, leafy greens, and oily fish, and engage in simple, enjoyable mental activities. Think of David, 78. He was a retired accountant, proud of his sharp mind, but lately, he'd been finding himself increasingly forgetful, misplacing his keys, struggling to recall details of conversations, forgetting appointments. He felt embarrassed and increasingly anxious, quietly worrying about dementia. He admitted he rarely drank plain water, preferring tea or coffee, and his diet wasn't particularly varied. "Just getting old and dotty, I suppose," he'd say, trying to make light of it. His doctor encouraged him to make hydration a priority, keeping a water bottle nearby and sipping frequently. He also suggested adding a handful of walnuts and blueberries to his morning porridge and making sure he had leafy greens like spinach or kale several times a week. Additionally, David started doing the crossword puzzle in the newspaper each morning, something he used to enjoy but had let slide. He didn't expect miracles, but over several weeks, he noticed a subtle but definite shift. The fog seemed to lift. Recalling names and details felt a little easier. He felt less scattered and more confident. Why? Consistent hydration quite literally plumped up his brain cells, improving function. The walnuts, omega-3s, blueberries, antioxidants, and greens, vitamins, provided premium fuel for his thinking engine. And the crossword? That was like a gentle workout for his cognitive muscles, helping to keep connections strong. The benefit for you? Feeling mentally sharper, more focused, and more confident in your daily life, whether it's managing finances, engaging in conversations, or simply remembering the little details that bring joy. Maybe nourishing your brain with water, good food, and a little fun challenge is all it needs to sparkle again. 6. Increased irritability or feeling low. Finally, let's touch upon mood. Have you noticed yourself feeling more easily irritated lately? Perhaps a bit flatter, less patient, or just generally down more often than not. It's tempting to blame stress, circumstances, or simply label yourself as grumpy. But sometimes, our physical state directly impacts our emotional state in ways we don't realize. Fluctuating blood sugar levels, for instance, can absolutely trigger mood swings and irritability. That hangry feeling isn't just for kids. A lack of sunlight, especially during certain times of the year, can lower vitamin D and serotonin levels, both crucial for mood regulation. And social isolation or feeling disconnected can significantly contribute to feelings of sadness or apathy. It's like a plant kept in a dark cupboard. It starts to wilt. The gentle approach here involves a few strands. Focus on stable energy through balanced meals, including protein and fiber to avoid those sugar crashes. Make an effort to get some natural daylight each day and prioritize social connection, even in small ways. Brenda, 69, found herself getting snappy with her husband and feeling generally unenthusiastic about things she used to enjoy. She often felt a dip in energy and mood mid-morning and late afternoon, which coincided with when she typically reached for a sweet biscuit or a piece of chocolate. She also spent a lot of time indoors, especially during colder months, and since her friends had moved or had their own health issues, she felt increasingly isolated. "I don't know what's wrong with me," she confided. "I just feel so irritable all the time." She started by tackling the blood sugar swings, consciously swapping her sugary snacks for options like cheese and apple slices or yogurt with berries. This helped smooth out the energy dips and the associated irritability, avoiding that emotional roller coaster she hadn't realized she was on. She also made a point to sit by a bright window for 15 to 20 minutes each morning with her tea, and when possible, take a short walk outside, even on cloudy days. Crucially, she started making one phone call each day, to her sister, an old friend, her grandson, just for a quick chat. It wasn't a huge effort, but the cumulative effect was profound. Brenda felt her mood lift. She felt more resilient, less easily flustered, and more connected. The stable energy, the light exposure, like giving her internal plant some sunshine, and the regular doses of connection, like sunshine for the soul, worked together to brighten her outlook. The benefit for you? A more stable, positive mood, better relationships, more enjoyment in daily activities, and a greater sense of well-being. Sometimes, feeling better emotionally starts with addressing these simple physical and social needs. Could balancing your energy, soaking up some light, and reaching out be the recipe for a brighter, more joyful you? So, there we have it. 6 common signs that we might mistakenly dismiss as just getting older, but which could actually be your body's way of asking for a little extra support. Notice how the solutions weren't about radical diets or punishing exercise regimes. They were about gentle swaps, mindful adjustments, and listening kindly to what your body might be telling you. Replacing that sugary snack with fruit, choosing wholemeal bread over white, taking a short walk, ensuring you drink enough water, getting a little sunlight, making that phone call. These are small hinges upon which big doors of well-being can swing open. You've navigated so much in life, gathered so much wisdom and experience. Your body has carried you through it all, and it holds incredible resilience. You absolutely have the right and indeed the power to feel as good as possible right now at this stage of your life. Don't ever feel that aches, fatigue, or fogginess are your unavoidable destiny. These aren't giant leaps you need to take, just gentle nudges in a healthier direction, small acts of kindness towards yourself. Believe in your power to make these simple changes and feel the difference. You deserve vitality, clarity, and joy every single day. Thank you so much for spending this time with me. Take good, gentle care of yourself and believe in your own strength to feel better, starting today.